what does God say to people who are connected? This is a great question. Because how do I know I'm connected? When you look at the text in Exodus, to give you a little bit of history, they have just been delivered. They prayed for 400 years to be brought out of Egypt. Egypt is a type of bondage. Pharaoh is a type of Satan, a type in shadow. That's what I mean. Am I making sense? So now you have 2 million people who have just been delivered from Satan and out of bondage. Makes sense, right? Right. So God has done all these miracles in their life. And now they are now free from Satan and out of bondage. Now, here's the deal. Most of us would say, this is the moment that we've been waiting for. This is the celebratory moment. I need a space where I'm free from Satan and I'm out of bondage. But here lies the problem. If that is your concern, and if that is your chief concern, listen, you're going to come up short, because these people have experienced the freedom from bondage, the breaking away from Satan. They've seen miracles happen. They've seen Red Sea opened up. They've seen their enemies destroyed. All the things that we've asked God for. And literally, they're now 2 months in, and they do not yet know God. They know his stuff, but they don't know him. Am I making sense? They know what he's done, and they've even benefited off of what he's done, but they do not know him. And you've got to be careful when you benefit off of what he's done, and you believe that just because you've received the blessing or the prayer has been heard, that is a sign that you're his. But it says this on month 3. Exodus 19:1 says this, on the first day of the 3rd month. So they are 2 months in, 2 months after the Red Sea. So if you want to count it on Sundays, they done gone to Sundays 8 Sundays in a row. They done gone to church 8 Sundays in a row. So they think they doing good now. Man, I've been doing good. I done went to church 8 Sundays in a row, man. Like I'm growing in the things of God. So they're doing what you did. But now God says, now Moses, it's time for me to introduce myself to them. Some of us have been talking about the Red Sea for 18 years. And we've been crying and laid out for deliverance for 10 years. But you never had an experience where he said, now let me explain to you who I am. And it's interesting to me because I get a lot of people who love the miracle in the Red Sea. They love the deliverance. They love all of that. They love the passing over and everything else. But Charles, when I introduced them to who he is, now we got a problem. Because you can be faithful to the miracle. And you can be appreciative of deliverance. But it does not mean, Mr. Facebook, it does not mean that you know him. And this is why people are frustrated, because you find yourself empty after years of celebrating the miracle. And you find yourself disconnected after you've appreciated all of the deliverance, but you've never been able to really connect with him. This is why your praise service is dead. Because you've never really connected with him. Because if you say we worship, adore you, we declare there's nobody like you. We worship, we adore you, we declare there's nobody like you. We worship, we adore you, we declare There's nobody like you. We worship, we adore you, we declare there's nobody like you. And that can touch you if you're his. But if you're not his, how long are they gonna sing this song? We've been here a minute. Okay, and they're gonna sing it again? I thought the pastor was gonna come up. How long the service gonna be? So you gotta ask yourself, why is there a disconnect? And I'm not, listen, here's the deal. I'm not even throwing shade. I ain't even blaming you. My job this month is to help you see what it looks like and what it feels like to be his. And making sense. So he says, so Exodus 19. So listen, we done gone through 19 chapters. And now he's like, I need to introduce myself to you. It may be nice for you to get to know me. And so he tells Moses, he says, Moses, go and tell him this. He says, you have seen what I did to the Egyptians. I did that. How I bore you on eagle's wings. Somebody say, I did that. He said, and I brought you, get this. I brought you to myself. I never, ever delivered you with the idea that you would be free. I'm going to say it again. I never, ever delivered you with the idea. I never did all those miracles trying to free you up. I did this and I brought you to me. Am I making sense? See, I want you to understand. See, this is why it's so important. I didn't say yours, I said his. Because you got to realize God is working. I'm going to say this. God is not here. Let me get my people. Hold on. Let me find somebody. Let me find somebody. Let me see. See, Jen Leah, can you record it? I need somebody to record this because this is going to be. I'm going to try to do a little run for you, for you, so you can get this, so you can put it on. You can put it on whatever social media platform. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. All right. Here we go. So God is not here to free you up so that you can be you. He is not freeing you up and delivering you so you can live your best life. He is not freeing you up and delivering you so that you got the right now to express yourself and be free. No, God is delivering you with one sole purpose in mind. He is bringing you to him. Period. And you get upset when you find out what? It was about you? What? It was about you. You mean I didn't get the new job, the car, the house, so that I could now relax and tell everybody how much I'm blessed and buy me a bunch of stuff. You mean that I literally got the job, the house, and the car, so I got the car so that I could matriculate back and forth to worship. I could bring people with me to worship. I got the house, so now I have a place now to share the gospel and sit down and make disciples. You mean that's why I got the house? I got the jobs. I have influence over people that I have means to sow seed, that I would interact with those who are unbelieving, so that I could show how effective kingdom citizens could be and efficient kingdom citizens should be. So it's a place of sharing, a place of interacting, so that at some point I can share my witness. That's what it is. You mean God gave me a husband and a wife and children so I could reflect the relationship of God and the church? That's it? I thought I was making mini-me's. And I was looking forward to Christmases and vacations and everything else. And you mean God is like, yeah, you can have some of that. I ain't mad at you. God ain't mad at your vacation. God ain't mad at none of that. But he said, but know that why I gave it to you. I didn't give you that for this. Am I making sense? Makes sense. So now, and he says this, I bore you up on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, therefore, indeed, if you will obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be, here's a key term I'm going to drive home today, my treasured possession. If you shall obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession. God says, you mine. And I don't want to share with you nobody. All that I did and all that I've ever done was to bring you to this point where you understand one thing. You mine. And can you imagine God, listen, God's offense when those of us who are supposed to be his keep telling him to mind his business. And we're telling him that he has to adjust his needs to our agendas. Can you imagine? He's like, what? How are we having? What in the world? I was, I don't know who it was. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I was talking to one of the members yesterday, and they told me about this Facebook post. Now, I'm not one to put people on blast. I don't even know the person. I'm just going to, but the audacity and the ridiculousness of the concept and request. I was like, So I don't know the person, so I'm not putting them on blast. I don't know you. I don't know. I didn't see the post. I'm just telling you what somebody else told me. I'm gonna give you the concept. Man's married, has a spouse, wife, who is ill. I don't know if it's terminal, but it's ill. She's ill. Man's married, has a wife, a spouse who is ill. She apparently is pretty sick. So she makes a public request. What I want, more than anything, is to make love to this guy because he was the best lover I ever had. And that's my wish. You got a covenant over here, and your request was to go back over here and experience that again. Now, I thought it was ridiculous until I thought about the saints. That God would say, I've done all for you, and now I've saved you, I've delivered you, I've done this. And now, listen, and now you're looking at God saying, God, my one request is that I can go back over here and be intimate with that which you brought me out of. You better remember, you his. Your problem is you don't know you his. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, you his, you his, you his, you his. Psalm 135. See, yeah, y'all read those rocks. You got to watch yourself sometimes. Sometimes you're like, ooh. Psalm 135:4 says this. Listen, for the Lord has chosen Jacob for himself. Israel is his special treasure. Now, this is nothing but a poetic. This is a Hebrew poetic way of communicating the same thing. where it is a repeat of the same idea using different words and phrases. Because the Lord has chosen Jacob for himself. Jacob is Israel. And then Israel as his special, so it's a poetic way of communicating in a poetic style in Hebrew language. But the issue is this: God's like, you belong to me. Go to my next slide. Am I all right? Now, the Hebrew word for treasure possession. This is an interesting word. The Hebrew word for treasure possession is a very powerful word that I don't think we think about. It's segula. It's segula in Hebrew. Segula does not mean just some good stuff. Segula means it is a valuable item in the king's treasure. That means when the king says, "No, this right here," do you know how if you're a wine drinker, you have the wine that you serve your friends. They come over, come over for wine. And you grab that. That's the H-E-B, Walgreens. Some of y'all like, wait a minute. Some of y'all look at y'all friend right now. Did you serve me your wine drinker? You understand what I'm talking about? There is the wine that you drink, and there's the wine that you serve. And those are not two of the same. Am I making sense? So segula is the wine that you drink. That's the investment that you made, that you set aside for the special time. Am I making sense? Segula it's a trust. Listen, that money is put away for a future purpose. So literally, when you talk about segula or treasure possession, it's like I'm putting this money over here, and I'm letting the interest build, and I'm letting it build up because I got something special I want to do with it. Am I making sense? That's segula. Am I making sense? Malachi talked about this in Malachi chapter 3, verse 17, when he says this. He says, "On the day when I act, says the Lord Almighty, they will be my treasured possession." That word there is segula. In other words, he's saying, on the day of the Lord, I've been working some things. And I've been setting this up and setting this aside just for this occasion. That's segula. Am I making sense? Yes, so now, when God looks at you, he calls Israel, he calls his people his segula, his treasured possession. His stuff that he set aside that he don't want nobody else to use except for that special occasion. Am I making sense? Am I making sense to somebody? So that means, see, your problem is you even see yourself wrong. How are you God's segula and you common? How you letting everybody else have access to what God has considered his special treasure? Am I making sense? I understand. Listen, because a man. Listen, he's like you my woman. I don't want everybody else to see. No. Are you this chauvinistic? No. I'm selfish. You're my segula. So no, we ain't wearing that. Why? Because I don't want everybody else to see. Because you are my. See some of the men like, yeah. I'm making sense. So when God says you're my treasured possession, now you got to understand how he's looking at you. God is looking at you like, no. He said, you ain't common. Everybody can have access to you. I'm investing in this. I'm putting back everything else, and I got this stored over here and stacked over here. It's drawing interest and everything else. Why? Because I don't want everybody to have access to this. And when I reveal it, oh my God. Oh, I've been saving up for this moment. So now God looks at you and says, man, I want to have that moment where I said, man, wow, look at this. He said, wait for it. Listen, how do you know this? Satan says, hey, God, I'm walking around looking for some people who I can confuse, who I can kill, and who I can destroy. He says, I'm walking around. God said in the book of Job, he says, man, I got a segula for you. He says, have you considered my servant Job? Segula. I've been saving him just for this moment. And Say's like, man, I bet if I do this, he said, you don't understand my segula. See, now, watch and see what he's going to do. Am I making sense? That means God looks at you and he's like, man, I can't wait the day that I reveal my segula. And could you imagine he's looking at you like a segula, and then he comes home and looks for you and you in the streets because you wanted to have one more time. Am I making sense? Making sense. And God's like, you belong to me. Am I making sense? So now that means this. Your problem is this. You don't value you like God values you. That's why you will do anything with you. But when you know how God values you, am I making sense? I feel like you're full of pride. No, I'm full of God. Am I making sense? So no, I won't be. No, I won't do. No, I won't go. No, why? Because no, I won't say. No, I won't be into. No, I won't participate in. No, I am segula. I am God's treasured possession. Am I making sense? Like I say, it's the stuff you set aside. That can't nobody, you said this is for that. So when God looks at you, he says this is for that. And you have to understand this is what God is saying about you, even if you don't feel that way. He's saying this is for that. Because he's talking to ex-slaves. All they knew was slavery. And so he's talking to ex-slaves and said, now, listen, I know what the Egyptians thought about you, but let me tell you what I thought about you. You are my segula. Doesn't matter what the world says about you, you belong to me. Am I making sense? Making sense. And so when we talk about what does it mean to be his, the reason why we do a lot of things we do is because we have not considered that we are his. You haven't stopped to say, wait a minute. How am I treating God's stuff like this? And how am I letting the world tell God's stuff their value? Am I making sense? Making sense. So let me get out of here with let me get out of here with my 3 points. Am I all right? Am I all right so far? All right. Let me get my 3 points. Go ahead.
Thank you for worshiping with us today. If you liked this message, you can find the rest at cmllcstore.com. We invite you to join us again for our extraordinary worship services every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., Sundays at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central, where Dr. Moody teaches how to understand the Bible, and you can get all your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you. We ask that you subscribe to the Rock ATX on YouTube and follow the Rock ATX on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all the Rock is doing. You can also get connected on our website at therockatx.org. Again, thank you for worshiping with us, and be blessed.